the ground shake.
Hello YouTube, I have here today a Ground Zero Hydrogen Series 38SPL. It is a brand new model from like, well, not a brand new one, it is like 2 months, 2 to 3 months old model. And one thing I noticed that the Hydrogen series has changed its basket really in silent. I didn't have any information about changing this basket on anything happening new. They just sent a better basket one when I ordered one time one of these subwoofers. Now, what has changed since the last Hydrogen series? A lot and not a lot. Well, the basket is mainly the biggest difference in the compared to the old model, and a little bit of the perhaps the spiders and the coil and just a little stuff. Now this is a roughly bigger than 15-inch subwoofer. I have here specs about the subwoofer. It says that it is diameter of 390 millimeters, so it's 15.35 inches in diameter. So it is ever slightly bigger than a normal 15-inch subwoofer. Now the original stuff is here, a plastic dust cap in the center, pressed paper cone or paper cone, and a nice, a little bit normal, bigger than normal surround all around. One thing these all Hydrogen series is they have had this little foam around here. It helps when you invert the subwoofer and put the basket outside of the enclosure. It helps to seal it off. Now this frame has a little bit dent over here, a little bit of bevel here, so if you are not using this, if you want to take this off, you need to make a little hole for this bevel to go into the basket, because this frame does not handle the stress if you just connect it against the wood of this frame. But when this has this nice little foam all around it, it's much better. Now I have here some kind of, well, I had here some kind of stick where I tested these glues in the subwoofer. It's there. So the subwoofer is glued with a little bright, maybe a little transparent glue up in here. It is quite flexible. It is good glue and flexible glue. It means that if it is too hard glue, it will break sometime. Well, using a little bit elasticity in your glue is very, very okay. Now underneath here we can see the spiders, and the spiders are glued with, I think this is some kind of CA glue, Cyberbond or CA glue, and some sort of elasticity in here, just a little bit. A black CA glue is used to connect the spiders down here. One thing to keep in mind that this is a fully Ground Zero owned basket. It is not a universal basket anymore. The old one, I think the old one had a universal basket. This sound stamped here Ground Zero in this cast aluminium frame, so it is they own basket. And one thing I noticed in straight away here, that this has quite a big of a gap here between the spider and the frame. So maybe sometimes you will be seeing a Ground Zero X-Max series, now Hydrogen X-Max series, with a little bit bigger surround here and wider suspension down here, because these frames allows it. Or Ground Zero will be using this basket on their X-Max series sometime in later on. One thing also I noticed here that this has a where I should put the camera. This has double leads from the voice coil. This is dual 1 ohm voice coil, and double leads you can see here. They are just on top of each other. It allows you to have much more power to the voice coil, and it helps with the connectivity issues, having a slightly more cable area going into the voice coil. Now the surround and the coil is glued down here with the same black CA glue. It has two sets of spiders down here. They are quite soft. The most widest one is still a bit hard. I think the glue from underneath here is slightly gone into the spider. So this is quite soft, and it has probably two sets of these spiders, one in up here and little spacer ring between, and one down there. So it helps with the voice coil if it has only one place connected into the frame. It will allow some flexibility inside the voice coil gap, but if you have two places, it will be much more rigid and much more solid subwoofer. So and also this has a nice push terminals. They are around maybe 4 square millimeters, not a 6. 6 should be a little bit hard to get in here, but 4 is okay. Now the basket has a quite big space down here. It allows to have a big voice coil, and this actually the subwoofer has a 45mm X-Max mentioned in the parameters. So that means that the top plate is not very thick. It's around 10mm thick, and it will allow to have big excursion on this subwoofer. Now the motor back down here is just nice simple design with a sticker in here and nice little port flare here, so you can you don't hear any external noises when playing this loud. I drived it in and the FS dropped it around 28 Hz. It said that it's 36 Hz in the parameters down there, but it dropped it, I think it was 28 Hz around when I played it a little bit louder with the big excursion. Now this subwoofer suits for almost everything. It is 429 euros, and you can use it for daily driver. You can use it for SPL measurement, because it has it is a clipple optimized subwoofer. It will have everything just correct. When they do the clipple optimization, they check with lasers and temperature sensors and play with very high volume, very high excursion, and check out if there is any parts that will break. Now when you optimize with clipple, it helps you to design much better subwoofer. So every subwoofer that comes from ground zero that is clipple optimized is, in my point of view, a good subwoofer. Normal subwoofers, when you manufacture them or buy them from factories that produces them, they are just tested with the prototypes and then sent out. With this clipple optimization, you have much more in-depth reviews about the subwoofer and more information what goes wrong and how much you can play it with loud or big excursion or everything like that. If you play a subwoofer with a bad surround up in here, it will probably break into the center. I've seen subwoofers surrounds break in after extensive amounts of low notes playing. But these clipple optimization help the manufacturers to make just a better subwoofer, so they last longer and they play really well. Hydrogen series has been a very good sounding subwoofer, and this also is a very good sounding subwoofer. But if you want to, as it has a dual 1-on voice coil with a power handling of 35,000 watts, it is a very good option for a SPL or trying to get those loud high notes. I see no difficulties in the subwoofer to play very loud, and that's about it. If you want to know more about the subwoofer, I will be posting pictures and probably the parameters in our Facebook page. Go and check them out. And if you have anything questions to ask about the subwoofer, anything Ground Zero does, I will try to answer them as honest as possible. I like really much Ground Zero what they are doing right now. The old ones, the old radioactive series, the old aluminium basket radioactive series was just a rubbish, and I really like how they are working with their subwoofers. They have a idea of doing everything just better. It takes time, and they are a bit costly subwoofers, but but they are just good. Actually, the radioactive series, the stamped steel basket series, is a very good subwoofer also. And this is a little bit more expensive. Now this comes in 12 and 15 inch sizes with the dual 1 ohm voice coil. Both of those dual 1 ohm voice coil, you could have the old version of Hydrogen series in pink, but I think it's not it is discontinued now. But you can get the 12 inch subwoofer with this frame with a Kawasaki green color on it. It is really nice looking. The black and yellow kind of coloring in the subwoofers is also nice. Well, that's about it. This was Ground Soda Hydrogen series 15 inch subwoofer. Like if you like, dislike if you dislike, and leave a comment. Let's talk about it into the comment section more. See you on the next video. Bye bye.